Hello and welcome to Bears Talk presented by J. Brown Realtors on this Thursday, October 12th. Andy Losi joined alongside head football coach Mike Jacobs to kick off the show as always. Lenoir-Rhyne football coming off its most impressive win of the year, a 31-28 victory over the Limestone Saints in overtime. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it.
This was the toughest battle of your season. Going to overtime, you've seen some games this season where you guys have been able to be in control, but if you could rate this performance and this victory on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you evaluate this performance?
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to put a rating on it. In terms of like how big of a win was it, it's a 10. In terms of things, there's moments in that game where we played 10 out of 10. There's moments in that game where there's some lapses, but I think the big thing is the things that we missed on or maybe didn't do well are all correctable. The things that are really tough to get, that you only get in tight games, are the perseverance, the determination, the grit, the fortitude to overcome when the breaks don't always go your way. And that's really the first time we've been significantly tested, and just really couldn't be more proud of our players and our staff.
There is an area where I think you guys played a 10 out of 10. It was the special teams. We haven't really discussed it over the past few weeks, but let's highlight on Jake Brown to start off. He's only a freshman, and he gets the game-winning kick, a 20-yarder, to put it through and keep you guys undefeated on the season. But at the end of regulation, he missed a field goal, and we don't want to highlight that because he made two throughout the game as well. But how big was that as a coach to see a young player who came off a miss come in, get the clutch field goal to keep you guys perfect?
Yeah, Jake's done a great job for us. He's a guy that we felt was highly recruited out of high school, and we thought he'd be in competition for the starting job coming into camp. He was able to win that position, and he's been really consistent all year, especially extra points and field goals. And he hit two big kicks earlier in the game that kept us on the board and kept us in the game, and the score really within a touchdown because of those kicks. And then we were able to move the ball down and give him a chance. It wasn't a chip shot by any means. People couldn't see it on the broadcast, but a little bit of wind, pretty significant wind in his face that day, and he just didn't quite hit it. But what we did was he came right back, right? The most important play is the next play. We talk about that a lot in our program, and he had another opportunity. We were able to get a little bit closer for him this time, and he drilled it right down the pipe to win the game. And just what a cool moment, right, for a kicker to have a walk-off. Like, some guys will play their entire career and not have that at any level, and for him to have that success as a freshman and really in such a big victory, I'm just really happy for him and proud of him.
Another field goal that wasn't from your attempt perspective, it was the block field goal.
Sure.
28-21 lead for the time at Limestone. Almost made it a two-possession game, but an 84-yard kick return or block kick return for a touchdown. When you see the block go up, when they return it to the house for 84 yards, how did that shift the attitude on your sideline?
Yeah, I mean, it just breathes life into you, right? Like, that's a 10-point swing in that game. They could have gone up by 10 points on us, and we take it back the other way for a touchdown. And I give a lot of credit to Darius Kelly, who's a captain for us, who's a tremendous football player, all-conference kid. We thought they were pretty soft at their wing position, and he did a great job bending it around the corner. And really, I mean, it's a textbook play. He gets the block. TJ's in perfect scoop and score location. He gets to the side of the ball, he picks up the points, and he's off to the races. And, for those kids just to trust that what could have been a downer moment, and some teams, you see they don't give great effort on those plays, and our kids, we harp really that PAT and field goal are not plays off. And, they got the job done and really swung momentum and all the energy onto our sideline at that point.
We saw towards the middle of the game as well, Jalen Ferguson goes down with an injury. We hope he's able to come back for Barton. But Sean White, who started off the year as a starter, comes in as a mid-game replacement. He had to have some big drives at the end. He had to show that composure at the quarterback position in a very tight contest. How do you feel about how Sean White came out and really just helped it out, got the team to get this victory?
Yeah, I mean, Sean White's a kid with he's got 10 wins under his belt as a starter. He was the second leading passer in the SAC last year, and you know, Jalen had been playing better, and that's why he had been starting. But Sean's a tremendous quarterback, and you know, he hit the big pass play coming out of half on the very first play of the second half, and you know, he continued to do enough of what we needed to move the ball down the field and kind of steer the ship. There's a couple other critical throws that he made in there, a couple nice plays by Malachi Sumner, and you know, but again, Sean's a guy that we got a lot of trust in. That kid's won a lot of football games for us.
Speaking about that experience and the maturity, we talked about most of the games this season for your team have been multi-possession wins, but to have a 38-28 victory, which was decided by that game-winning field goal, how did this performance really display that maturity and say, all right, we can show teams that we are great, but then we can also show them in these tight game situations that we can prevail?
Yeah, I mean, there's long seasons, and all you got to do is look around college football. It's tough to win a game every Saturday. Our kids were up for that game. That's a really good Limestone team. I'll be honest, if their quarterback had not been hurt the last quarter of the West Georgia game and sat out all of the West Alabama game, that's probably an undefeated team coming in there. And, you know, they do a tremendous job. And for our kids to have some of those ebb and flows, to not just front run, to have to overcome adversity, to stay the course, to not gripe or complain or lose sight of just doing their job at an elite level. We played our best football when the game was most on the line, and again, just proud of their perseverance and their ability to overcome on Saturday.
Dwayne McGee having a 200-yard rushing performance last week. He gets another 100 rushing yard performance this week with 130, make it 5 straight to begin the season. He had some really big runs in overtime and towards regulation as well. How big was it to see your experienced running back just take the ball, have great possession with it, and really set up that game-winning kick?
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne's an All-American, right? I mean, in 21, he was as good of a running back. He's a consensus All-American, and a little bit of a slump last year in 22, not all his doing by any stretch. And what you're seeing is a kid that's really dialed in, and he's done a tremendous job in his role as a captain, and he's playing really good football for us right now, and he's determined. He's done a great job in the other facets of the game that we've asked him to be involved in, and just really proud of what he can do and what he's done for us so far.
You mentioned defense made the plays towards the end, facing against a very tough Saints offense, but John Ross May, we talked about a few times after that performance against Limestone, now with 100 solo tackles on his career, 200 total tackles on his career, 100 total tackles are in solo for him as well. But how has number one been such a strong X factor for your defense this season and been that anchor?
Sure. I mean, again, you're talking about a kid who's a 2-year captain, who's played in a number of pushing 30 football games for us now in his career. There's not much that he hasn't seen, but more than anything, he's an elite competitor. Like, you know, you talk about people that hate to lose, that's John Ross May, and he's done a great job. You know, he's to have a guy like Andre Jefferson at the first level, to have a guy like John Ross May, and then Sedarius Kelly in the third level, and there's players all around him. You know, we're incredibly blessed with our defensive talent, and you know, statistically it wasn't our best outing, but again, at the critical moments they made big plays and they were in the right position and they did a nice job, which shows that they made correction throughout the course of the game.
We see your tweets every post game. 1-0, big game coming up against Barton this week on homecoming weekend here between the Bricks and Moretz Stadium.
Sure.
I know of a win like this, it re-energizes that team. But for a coaching standpoint, how do you make sure your team stays focused, look at the goal of trying to go 1-0 this week here at home?
Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. Barton's a really good football team, right? Like, they're a newer program, but Chip Hester's been at it for a long time. He was a long-time head coach at Catawba. He's won a SAC championship, I believe, when he was there, and Chip's done a nice job. And, you know, they were just starting that program in the COVID spring season, and, you know, kind of like us, their quarterback, their running back, Jordan Terrell, is a great player. they've been at it now for 3.5 years, what seems like forever for them. And they're a talented football team. They got a linebacker that's got 100 plus tackles in his career, and so they're going to come in hungry, and we understand that. And homecoming's great because we have such a tremendous fan base, and the atmosphere is going to be big time here for two really good teams. And I think the thing I tell our kids all the time, like, regardless of all the pomp and circumstance going on with homecoming, our job is to win the football game, and we got to prepare each day like it's the biggest day of the biggest, most important moment. And if we do that, then we're gonna have a chance again to play well on Saturday.
A 6-0 start for your team this year. Lenoir-Rhyne football will host Barden at 2 p.m. this Saturday. You can catch it on Flow Sports and on WHKY. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on Bears Talk.
Appreciate it.
Hello and welcome back to Bears Talk, presented by J. Brown Realtor, as the Lenoir-Rhyne swimming season is underway, and we are joined alongside by the men's and women's swimming assistant coach, Alyx Koert. Alyx, thank you so much for joining us on Bears Talk.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, your career at LR is taking on a new chapter. You were a swimmer here in your student athlete days, a graduate assistant the last 2 years, and now you're an assistant coach here with the program. How's it like, and how excited are you to start this new chapter as a full-time coach?
I love it. I've been in Hickory now for going on 9 years, and there's no place I'd rather be. I have a lot of love for this school and the swim team as a whole, and we have a great group of student athletes, so it's a pleasure working with them every day.
Let's start with the men's program. They were picked to finish third in the SAC preseason poll this year. They finished that place in the 2022 to 2023 SAC Swimming Championships. How does this team look? It's a retooled roster this season, and how are they doing as they're coming into the season now?
We're really excited about this year. Our sophomore class is looking really strong, and we have a few freshmen to definitely watch out for. I do think the boys team is looking really good right now, and we're really excited to see what they can put together as a team this season.
One of the big names on the roster this year going into his sophomore year is Levi McRae. It's been a popular name. Multiple of the sons of the McRae family have come through the program here at Lenoir-Rhyne, but he had a very good opening weekend at the King Invitational and one of the SAC swimmers to watch as well. Going into his second year, how does Levi going to make the jump this season?
I think he's going to make the jump by focusing on different events this season. He kind of came in, I think, with the idea that he was going to swim the same events that his brothers had swum, and we've kind of reevaluated, and he's going to do a little bit more distance freestyle work this year. So we're excited to see what he can do and hopefully make the national championship in the spring.
For the women's program, also a very young roster, picked to finish fourth in the SAC preseason poll. This is also a retooled roster because so many big names have left that roster, but there's exciting swimmers to come in as well for the women's side.
For sure. We have a really fun freshman class. They're awesome to work with. We have a lot of very talented females on our team this year, especially with a good sophomore class that we had last year. So I think we're really going to have a lot of depth in our freshman and sophomore class this year on the women's team.
One of the sophomores coming into this year is Ella Penny, and just like we talked about with Levi, Ella had such a good start to their season as well, getting 3 top 5 finishes. Is that just a glimpse and a preview of what Ella can accomplish this year?
Oh, for sure. She qualified for the national championship last year, but was just outside of the amount of student athletes that they picked up to go. So we're hoping that she has another performance like she did last year and actually gets picked up this season with a lot of big names leaving the conference and leaving the swimming world last year.
You have 2 dual meets on the road to start against Catawba and Mars Hill, but you start here at home on Saturday, October 21st at 2 p.m. against King University. What do you want to tell the LR fans and the Hickory community to come out and support the swimming program this year?
Yeah, we're just excited to have you guys in the pool with us and to experience a swimming meet at home. It should be a very fun environment, a lot of fans, a lot of cheering, so definitely come out to support.
Awesome. Looking forward to that event. Alyx, thank you so much for joining us here on Bears Talk today.
Thank you, Andy.
Hello and welcome back to Bears Talk, presented by J. Brown Realtor. We are now joined alongside by starting goalkeeper of the Lenoir-Rhyne men's soccer team, and Juan Basabe. Juan, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely. You guys are in a turning point of your season right now. You guys have really turned it around, 7 possible points out of possible 9, I should say, in this last few matches with a big win yesterday against Koert. Does it feel like this team is hitting a turning point of the year right now?
Yeah, definitely. The start of the season didn't go as we expected. Not because we played bad soccer, actually were playing good soccer, but you know, just it didn't. We weren't getting the results we wanted, and now finally we were getting good results. 2 away games, 4 points. Now this last one yesterday against Koert at home, three more points. So hopefully we can continue with this dynamic and put some good points on the standings.
You have now been in your 4th year here at Lenoir-Rhyne. You've had 43 career starts here at the program. Say, how does it feel now to become, from being here, getting a few starts in your early years, leading the team in minutes last year, to now being that vocal leader out on the pitch for this team?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's really an honor to be in that leadership role in this amazing program. We've been doing really good these last 4 years that I've been here. So being in that role right now in the team is an honor.
You have a new coach this year as well, Coach Rubio. No stranger to you, but he steps up to a role as being a head coach. What's it like to play underneath Carlos Rubio as his first year as a head coach?
Yeah, it's been really impressive how the work that he's been doing. Really, him and Jorge, they've been doing an amazing job. They've been putting lots of hours on the team. We can tell. So it's been really pleasant to have him as a head coach right now. So.
You have a cool dynamic as being a graduate student, but there's also a few graduate students from Spain as well, Ethan Rubio and Aiden Martina. How cool is it to play with some people that share that same experience with you, have that same background as well?
Yeah, no, that's great. Always having some people from your country is nice. Yeah, it creates a better environment. Being away from home is not always easy.
Mm-hmm.
So having that type of people here that they are in the same situation as you is nice.
Absolutely. It seems like you're getting better as the season goes on as well. We'll jump back to some previous results. 5 saves, a clean sheet against Carson Newman, and then last night 5 saves as well. Are you playing really confidently right now?
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday also should have been another clean sheet. They scored in the very last minute from some consecutive mistakes, but yeah, definitely feeling better. They were really solid in defense. I feel confident. I trust my defense, my team. So yeah, things are going better now.
It's nice that you trust yourself as well. You have such a unique goalkeeper style, and we've seen a lot of goalkeepers come through Hickory over the year, but it seems like you play with such a free motion style. Is that a good way to describe it? What makes you so confident that you're able to touch all ends of the pitch pretty much?
Yeah, well, I guess I'm just confident with my feet, and I trust my abilities with my feet. Some keepers are not that much, so maybe that's why you don't see as many goalkeepers being that out of the 18-yard box or that confident with the feet. But I don't know, it's just it's how I play. I don't really think about it. It's just I react to whatever happens, and it happens to be that style of play.
Yeah, and it works really well so far, and the results have been turning as well. You got 2 big home matches coming up against Newberry and Lincoln Memorial. They're going to be massive for the standings as you try to get into top 4 seed. So what do you want to tell the LR fan base and Hickory community to come out and support the Bears?
Yeah, we have 6 good points possible points to get at home. So having all the support from the Hickory fans is gonna be key.
Awesome. Well, Juan, you guys are turning your season around. It's exciting to see making your jump up the SAC standings. Thank you so much for joining us today on Bears Talk.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.